Welcome to Ocrop's YouTube channel, your world for information. Hey all, welcome to the vlog on human physiology and occupational health related illness. To all those who have subscribed to my channel and those who haven't, my request is please check out my videos and if you like them, share and subscribe. Whatever work you may be doing, the human body, your body is exposed to a lot of physical, chemical, and biological, including microbiological hazards. So the body has its own ways and means of regulating itself when it gets exposed to hazards. We shall see how the body works, human body works, and what are the hazards that are related to the occupational illness. When such an understanding is there, then we can have some kind of control on the risk to the body, either reducing ourselves to the exposure, being little more cautious than we naturally are, or we can understand what kind of issues are there in our body and we can correct them at the earliest rather than leaving it them too late. So let's begin our understanding on the human physiology and the occupational health related diseases, illnesses in the human body. The skin is by far the largest sensory organ of the human body. It acts as an anatomical barrier, protects us from a plethora of pathogens and also from the damages between the internal and external environment through body defense. Sensory nerves in the skin react to various environmental as well as internal conditions such as heat, cold, touch, pressure, vibration, and tissue injury. It regulates the body heat as well. It protects us from fluid loss by control of evaporation. Skin acts as a storage center for lipids and water, and also it synthesizes vitamin D from the sunshine. It's an excretory organ as well as the sweat secretes contains urea, and the sweating acts as a temperature regulation. Skin is also water resistant and it sometimes absorbs some vital elements. Most common occupational health related illness in skin is dermatitis, and about 70% of the cases are due to primary irritation. If you are working with any of the irritants in your workplace, then there is a likely probability that you might develop dermatitis. Name some of the common irritants. They are detergents, soap, organic solvents, acids, alkali, and some sensitizers or plants. Suppose you are involved in gardening or antibiotics in the pharmaceutical industry. Somebody, if they get into a pharma industry and come back, they will have a fever because of the sensitizers that are being used there. And if you are part of dyes, especially which are used in the paint and cosmetics and textile industries, then you have a probability of developing dermatitis. The exposure to metals like nickel and chromates, probably in the cement industry we can find a lot of chromates, rubbers and resins. People working with cutting oils can have both irritant and allergic contact dermatitis. It is the oil itself and is an irritant, and there are biocides within it which are allergic to some people. Some people are allergic to it rather. It is needless to mention that eyes are important parts of our body. Eyes are required for vision, and we all know that they are relatively fragile. Eyes are protected to an extent by the frontal bones above them and the eyelids, together with the blinked reflex. What we do as blinking is a reflex action that keeps protection from particles like eyelashes protects dust away, and the tears produce a dilution factor for intruding chemical and sterilization again, fertilizing infecting agents. So this means eye related issues in the work are naturally protected, but due to their fragility, uh, eyes are susceptible to injury. Any penetrating wound can lead to corneal damage, cataract, and retinal detachment, any of which can easily cause blindness. Damage of iris can provoke a sympathetic reaction in other eye and total blindness. Sometimes macular holes are also developed. The alkalis and acids burn the cornea. So all the irritant gases like sulfur dioxide, ammonia can cause conjunctivitis. Sometimes redness, allergens like plants and dyes have allergic reaction on eyes. And during welding, the ultraviolet radiation used is exposed, and this can affect the cornea as well. It's called keratoconjunctivitis. Cataracts also result from this, and also there is a trauma, a wound or severe blow which can infect the eye, and heat and irradiation, lasers and microwaves can also affect the eye. Retinal burns caused by infrared radiation lasers also have impact. Cataracts, however, can be removed and artificial lenses, but retinal burns and tears produce irrevocable damage to the vision, or they create some blind spots. Now it's time to discuss about the musculoskeletal system. The musculoskeletal systems provide form, stability, and movement to the human body. The bones, the skeleton, muscles, cartilage, tendons, ligaments, and joints, all these together constitute the musculoskeletal system. The system's primary function is supporting the body. It allows the motion and it protects all the vital organs. The skeletal portion of the system serves as a storage point for calcium and phosphorus, and contains some critical components involved in the production of blood. The storage of these minerals, calcium and phosphorus, helps to regulate the mineral balance in the bloodstream. This storage ability can be important when it comes to exposure to hazardous substances. For example, lead is stored in the blood for long periods after exposure. This can be released selectively at a later date and can give rise to lead poisoning issues within the body. Example, for women during the pregnancy, this can happen. The repetitive movements affect the musculoskeletal system and results in disorders. For example, keyboard operation for a long time affects the fingers and the musculoskeletal system. The display screen equipment in the factory where there are small components are being assembled, and where in the bricklayering and the supermarket checkout operation, where it is likely to result in ill health like back injuries, back muscle strain, ligament tear. Ligamentous or the tissues that connect the bone, they can get damaged. Hairline fractures can also happen. Disc injury also can happen, and the infamous work related limb disorders like carpal tunnel syndrome. Carpal tunnel syndrome is the numbness in the finger and arm points, and tenosynovitis, that is the inflammation of the finger. There could be many other chronic soft tissue injuries, such as painful knee joints, are possible to impact the musculoskeletal system during the work, and it is related to the occupation mostly. The nervous system is the part of body that coordinates the behavior of human and transmits the signal between different body areas. There are two main parts. One is the central nervous system and another is the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system connects the brain with the spinal cord. The exposure to industrial toxins can affect the central nervous system, that is the brain and spinal cord, or peripheral nervous system, the motor and sensory nerves, or both of these, and the resulting condition depends on the site of the attack. It can also bring about a brain blood barrier. What happens in the central nervous system is it starts producing narcosis, toxic, organic, psychosis, epilepsy, Parkinsonism, and behavioral changes due to the neurotoxins. Most common thing is the loss of consciousness produced by the narcotic agents such as chloroform, carbon tetrachloride, and trichloroethylene. Solvents such as acetone, toluene, and carbon disulfide can also impact the nervous system. Periodic exposure to certain chemicals brings about these neurotoxins and induces a behavioral change, and it also reduces the intelligent quotients. This exposure to chlorine can cause loss of consciousness, and this is common in any plant where chlorine is used. If the PPEs are not used and the precautions are not practiced, then there is a possibility that the operator can get faint. Even the clothes, if not proper clothing is worn, it can get eroded easily. That is another impact of the chlorine components. Sometimes the development of the neurotoxins are so slow that it is not even easy to recognize, and it is not easy to relate it with the work related illness. You had a good time listening to the part 1 of the human physiology and work related illness. In the subsequent part, we will see about the endocrine system, the circulatory system, blood, the respiratory system, gastrointestinal system, the liver, and the urinary system. Hope you enjoyed listening to this. If you like it, give a big thumbs up and stay tuned for the next part. Take care till then. Signing off. Bye bye.